Hello,
Hey,
Susan Gibson.
hi, Teri McCartney.
Good
How
to
you doing this
see you.
afternoon? Yeah, good to see you too. Welcome to the fifth night, sixth night,
Six,
sixth
six,
night
I think.
of the Howlin' Dog. Yeah, Howlin' Dog fundraiser, FUNDrive for our next year's 2027 grant recipients. We have a couple of our previous grant recipients going to join us here in just a second. Meghan,
Uh-huh.
Clarisse, and Sara VanBuskirk. But
Right.
first, we've been doing
But
this for a business week. We've been doing this for one whole business week,
we
and
have.
I think it's going really good. It's been really fun to watch, for sure.
It has been. I've thought every night is very different and very cool. I
Mhm.
think all of them have been a lot of fun and energizing and inspirational and all kinds of things. Great
Yeah,
music. So
great
it's been
music.
fun.
It has been fun. Part of getting ready for this fun drive means that I Googled everybody ferociously, and I've been streaming their stuff, just kind of trying to get to know them a little bit before I get to talk with them. And what a treat that has been.
I'll
Um,
bet.
I'm such a I listen to podcasts and audiobooks. I forget to listen to music sometimes, and this fundraiser has been such a great reminder of, you know, God, how much different my mental health is when I'm listening to music versus the other stuff I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tend
The
to
news. Yeah.
stream. Yeah, the news or murder podcasts or
Yeah.
something about, you know, fraud or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this has been a great week for me.
Oh,
And
good.
yeah, being behind the scenes has been really fun. I've got a new skill set now of
You
um,
do.
by tomorrow night, by the last night, I ought to have my poop in a group so that I can really be super good at this for
Yeah.
our 2027 fundraiser.
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully you'll remember it for a year. Yes.
yeah, yeah, it's been really great. It's been really great, and I'm blown away by people's generosity. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that because you're the one that's seeing all those numbers.
I am, and I'm thrilled. We have 2 nights left. Our goal was 20,000 for the week, and we're at 16,000. So
Woohoo!
that's a couple thousand tonight, couple thousand tomorrow night.
Yeah, man.
And we'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not just asking for your money without giving you something. Because everyone on our roster is out there busy making art. I feel like we've got a lot of cool incentives uh, for people that might need a nudge and a something to hold in their hand. And so I'm going to throw up a little picture of some of the things that we are offering. We've got stuff that kind of goes along with every level of giving. Um, every donation this week will get some sort of a premium. So that might be a sticker or a digital copy of somebody's album or a single, or we've got artists that are out there making videos and um, doing all sorts of creative things with their creative work, which is really great.
Yeah.
Um, so if you give up to $50, you can get a sticker that you can put on your bumper of your car, guaranteed to get you pulled over 80% less often. Will probably get you out of a speeding ticket. That's all. I don't know that that's true. Uh,
They're a
I
little
should.
small, I think, for bumpers, but
Oh,
water bottles,
oh yeah,
computers, yeah, they're cool.
they
I've
are
got them
cool.
all over.
I have a big water jug here somewhere. Let me see if I got room. Oh yeah, I got room. I got room on my jug. Yes,
There
it
you
would go
go.
right there over this moose between Idaho, Beauville, Idaho, and land of the Great Dyke.
All right.
Nice little spot for that. Okay, if you give 50 to $100, you can get a sticker and a physical CD.
We have
$100.
lots to choose from.
Yeah, we
We
have.
do.
So this is our 3rd year in business as Howlin Dog Music Group, and so we have. I heard Dawn say a number last night that floored me. We have given over $100,000 in grants in 3 years, y'all. That's
Yeah.
pretty darn good. We
Yeah.
have about 30 artists that have benefited from your generosity, and so and they've all been really generous with their time and efforts.
Yes.
One of my favorite incentives is the handwritten lyrics, because I think that's just such a one of a kind of personal thing from an artist that you love, or even an artist that you don't know that you love yet. I'm going to point back to how I've spent my week listening to a bunch of artists who I might have heard their name, but I'm not familiar with their work, and I'm just falling in love several times a day.
Yeah.
And so that's been really great. We have a new today tote bag that is at the $200 to $300 level.
It's here.
It's here. She got them. Look at there. I love seeing that logo on things.
I do too.
Yep.
They're nice
And
bags.
nice bags. You can take it to your grocery store, to the library when you check out your library books, when you go to a music festival and buy all the albums of the artists that you love. You can take that bag with you and carry your stuff out. So handy.
Yes.
From $300 to $400, you get that tote that Teri just held up, and then we've got a new patch. Did Jana design the patch?
No, it was Alex that came up with the original idea, and then Heather and I made some changes.
Yep. It looks
And
great.
then New Braunfels, Signs and Designs.
Thank you, New Braunfels Signs and Designs.
Yeah,
I can't wait to have one of these. I do too. I have spent this summer. Drew Kennedy gave me a pair of his jeans to patch a hole, because I've been getting into visible mending, and so I patched the hole in his pocket, and then he said, "You can do whatever you want." And I have been going nuts with the needle point up here at the cabin. So patches, all that stuff. I love all that stuff. All right, now if we want to talk big money, for $500 or more, you can get a Howlin Dog Music Group hoodie. We just got a new batch of hoodies in. I'm going to take that sign down so that Teri can model our hoodie. We got good stuff, y'all. And plus, when you donate at these high dollar levels, you also get the digital download stuff. You look at that. Oh, girl. Nobody fills out a hoodie like Teri McCartney, I'll tell you. But you can give it a shot. That's beautiful. Thank you for doing that. For $1,000, y'all, you can get a personalized singing telegram from one of our artists or one of our board members. I did this over Christmas one year, and it was really fun to send a gift to someone from someone else. And get to be a part of someone else's relationship for 3.5 minutes. It was great. For $2,500, you can get an executive producer credit on one of the 2027 projects. So that's what we're raising money for right now, is all of our grantees that are going to get awarded grants in 2027. And so you can get your name on an album in the physical copy of the product. You'll have your name printed in the album, and you didn't even have to sit there and agonize about your feelings for 20 years in order to get a song to put on an album. So it's pretty cool. $3,500, which is the amount of our grants so far. 3,500 gets you get to name a grant like in honor of someone, in memory of someone. You don't get to pick who the grant goes to. We still handle that part of it. But you get to name a grant in honor of somebody. And then at the $5,000 or above level, a board member and grantee will come and perform a house concert for you and your friends. We do house concerts all the time. They're my favorite kind of gig. You get to know the people that are enabling your career at a house concert in a way that you don't get to do that at a normal venue. I think it has something to do with sitting next to them with the paper plate on your lap, eating a potluck supper. I think that bonds people together. But you know, those house concerts usually take 40 to 50 to 60 people to make the work that the host does worthwhile, and to make the effort that the artist brings to get there worthwhile. And so you could go ahead and circumvent that whole thing and pay $5,000, and you could have it just be you, which would be a little awkward. But you could invite all of your friends too. I think if it's just you, we call that something else. I'm not sure if that's a house concert. That might be us stalking a fan. But great incentives to give here. So we'll remind you of that stuff throughout the broadcast. But just since Teri just got the merchandise today, so I wanted to kind
had
of
to show it off.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
had to show it off.
It's nice. Yeah, and so many of you have been so generous.
Hi, Lance.
We're just very, very lucky to have this community, this family. It's fun to be a part of. And I've just been amazed all week at how it's all come together.
Me
the
too.
Artists,
you know
board
what?
members.
Yeah, I'm looking at the people, you know, we can see the comments that show up online, and I'm looking at Lance and Leslie and Neil, who are three people who I've seen several times all week long, you know. And so our community isn't just the people raising the money and the people getting the money. It's the folks who understand what music does to a life and what supporting musicians does. Hey, Billy, I'm going to throw your comment up there because absolutely there is a link to donate, and I'm going to post that right now. We have a Venmo that's at Howlin Dog Music Group. There is,
right?
Yep. Sorry, I didn't have that up yet. HDMG. This is the link that you would go to if you go to the Howlin Dog Music Group page. I think right on the home page there's a donate button. This link right here, howlindog.musicgroup.org/support-HDMG, is directly takes you to our donation page as well. Also, another way to give is that QR code that's right above Teri's head. You could scan that with the camera on your phone, and that will take you right there. And of course, we take checks. You can make your check out to Howlin Dog Music Group and mail it to probably Teri. That's, I think, Teri and Don's P.O. Box 825, Alamosa, Colorado 81101. So we will take any form of currency. We've got our digital donations. You can write a check. You know, a lot of these musicians will have a little tip jar on their merch table for getting Howlin Dog money. We did that at a house concert at Pam Leitner's house. Pam is another board member. She and I did a house concert this summer, and you know, this is how house concerts go, y'all. It's people who sincerely value music, and so her community all bought tickets to the show, a a portion of their tickets, we told them a portion of the ticket goes to Howlin Dog Music Group. So they bought a ticket to the show. Then Pam put out a basket for tips for Howlin Dog Music Group, and we got another, I don't know, $300-400 in that basket on top of people buying to get into the show. So, it's really, I think that this nonprofit that we have here has become this hub for people who got it, people who need it, and putting those people together in the same room. Ho, boom! We got ourselves footage, and Teri just learned how to throw graphics up on the screen.
I did just now.
That's really good.
Yes.
Oh, hey, there's Mike and Kathy from Wimberley, Texas. Those are my neighbors in Wimberley, Texas, and they've been here many nights this week. And so we're just
Mark and Luann Skinner there. That banner that was just up. They've been supporters. They live here in Elmo. Supporters from the beginning.
Oh, that's
we
so
sure
great.
Appreciate them.
Yeah, no doubt. There's no way we could have gotten into our third year without those folks that started with us, and stuck with us. So thank you all so much for your generosity. Thank you, Billy. Thanks for watching. And Billy's been a friend and fan, and her dad was a friend and fan. Van was her dad, and they have been constants in my own music career. So you never don't need people. And so thanks y'all for showing up. We're getting ready to talk to, here in about 10 minutes, I guess, 13 minutes, it looks like, one of our first year's grantees, Meghan Clarisse, who has also participated in helping the Howlin Dog family. She was running our social media for a while, and it's so cool to see how many gifts people have to bring to the table. And I think of Meghan that way. She and I got to play a show in Estes Park last summer, and I got to hear her do some live performance stuff. And I've been listening to her album today, and so I'm anxious for that conversation.
Is this a good time to talk about what all we do here at Howlin Dog besides, try to raise money?
It's a great time.
Besides the grants that we offer, and like Susan said, we've given 30 grants in our 3 years and over $100,000. So yeah, that money is important. But we also try to do workshops, and we've really just got started doing this. Susan and Eliza Gilkison, another board member, offered a songwriting workshop last year. They'll be doing another one in December. And then just last week, we did a sync licensing workshop, which was really well attended and really well done by Teresa Sudam, who is one of this year's grant winners. But we offer those to everyone who's applied for a grant, not just the grant winners. And last weekend, I had some guests here, and they have applied for a grant the last 2 years and have not been chosen yet. They may someday. They're very good. It's very tough competition, tough decisions to make. But she let me know that even though they haven't gotten a grant, they still feel like part of a family. And that just made my heart very happy because of the workshops and because of the newsletter. They feel connected. And that made my heart very happy because I have to write those notes that say, sorry, not this year. So it's really very, very sweet of her to say that. And I do think that's one of the things we try to do is build this community.
Yeah.
And we have more money, more
We do.
donations rolling in. Yes.
Hey, baby. I'm going to put up the big
Yes.
sign. Woohoo! You know, I love that. And, you know, getting to work with you on this kind of stuff and be part of that project committee. You know, I remember one of the lines in one of your letters was, you know, you not getting the grant this year is not a reflection of your talent. It's a reflection of our financial shortfall, you know, and I think that's why it's so important for us to, you know, spend this week shaking the bushes, because, you know, we have the conversation all the time is, you know, because our grants have grown since the first year. You know,
Yeah.
the grants this past year were larger than the ones we did this first year. And so, you know, it's always this balance between, are we going to increase the amount of the grant or are we going to increase the number of the grantees? And that's always, you know, I mean, both of those are great ideas, but you got to have money to do it. And so
Right.
we really appreciate
Or,
you guys.
yeah, or do we have enough money to offer the same amount of grants? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's, yeah, that, we face that too.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Billy, for your donation in honor of your dad, Van. I met Van down in Terlingua, Texas. He was hitchhiking on the side of the road heading to Terlingua, Texas. And when he made it to Terlingua, we were sitting around a campfire and he said he had rented a car to go to the music festival down in Terlingua, but he rented it for the wrong week. So he had to take back the rental car and then hitchhike his way down there. And I thought, man, that's hardcore. I want to be friends with that guy. So he always used to request a song called My Best Feature that has a line in it that says, take a look at this big old butt. You know, I got a big old heart. So I'm going to shake it there for Van on the internet. He was a good
Right
one.
on, Susan.
Yeah. He, you know, again, just a reminder of when we follow music and put it in our lives and put it, you know, the strings that come off of that tie us together are amazing. And you know, I met Billy probably 10 years after I met Van, you know, and now she's a lifelong friend. So thank you for that donation, Billy. And to everybody that's watching and everybody that's tuned in this week and given money, man, we cannot thank you enough. So I don't know if shaking my butt on the camera on the internet is an appropriate thanks, but that's what just happened.
Hey, could bring in a lot more donations, Susan.
Well,
You know?
or get us booted off the internet for, you know, internet violations. I don't know. Um, yeah, this has been a great week. That's right, Lance. The gift of music is life saving. I know it has saved my. Oh, hey, there's another one.
There's some more
Way to
money.
go. All right. You know, I always think music saves multiple times. Because I know it has saved my life by playing it. It's kept me out of trouble. It's got me into a little trouble, but it's gotten me out of more trouble. And again, the people I have met, I often think, you know, would I know 90% of the people that I know if I didn't play music, you know, or if I didn't have that as a tent post in my life? I don't think I would. I think my life would be rather small, you know, and I know that we see this when we'll play at a festival, we'll play at the barn dance. We're going to be at the barn dance this September 10 through 12. Um, and those folks that meet up at the barn dance, like there is something that forges friendships when you're sitting there enjoying music together. It's really great.
For 7 hours a day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The perseverance is amazing.
Yeah. Yep. It is.
So yeah, I'm gonna throw that up there. Howlin Dog will have a booth at the barn dance. I think in our first year, most of the folks that donated to Howlin' Dog were people from the barn dance.
That's
We
right.
owe a lot to Michael Hearn and the barn dance. And Michael was our
Yeah.
guest last night. If you didn't get to catch it last night, I bet it's still up on the Howlin' Dog page. And
Yep.
if you want to go back, that was a great conversation to get to listen to Don and Michael talk about their paths in music and how they've intersected. And yeah, that was great. So yeah, we're just got 2 more days left. And I think we have did you say we were at 16,000 last night at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the broadcast? So we got $4,000 to make here in the next 2 days in order to meet our goal. And our goal, of course, is to raise as much as we can so that next year when we have even more submissions, because everybody that submits to Howlin' Dog has their own circle that is watching what they're doing. And so it's fun to see, like, you know, somebody like Meghan who submits in the first year, and then the spokes that come off of her wheel, that of the musicians that we see submit the next year. And, I think Sarah Golden was one of last year's grantees, and we're going to have Sarah VanBuskirk tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if she and Sarah have crossed paths because they're both Houston gals, So it's really cool to kind of see that, not even 6 degrees of separation. I think Don said it was 2 degrees of separation, which I believe that. Thank you for that donation, whoever that came from. We love seeing that picture up on the broadcast. Every time you see that, somebody donated, and it's a good
Oh, yeah.
reminder. Hey, boom, bing,
Another
bang, boom.
another one. Yes.
All
Thank you.
right. Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
friends.
This is really great.
I'm gonna
God,
have a
and
lot of work to
the
do.
good stuff hasn't
Get
even
caught up.
started. Yeah, you're gonna make Terry's gonna have all of her work starts after the broadcast, when she has to mail all the stuff out and write the thank you notes and send the stickers and all that stuff, which was wonderful, wonderful set of circumstances. So
Yes, it
thank you all
is.
for donating. And this is just while we're talking, Teri. We haven't even brought out the
The
main event.
stars. Yeah, I know. The
This
stars
is
of the
just
show.
the 3 chips and salsa that come to the table before the meal, you know? So that's really great. Well, thank you guys so much. You are so generous, and we're going to make good use of that money.
Yes, we will.
There are artists out there that you will love. We just got to buy a little time for them, and give them a little boost across the finish line. Some of the grants, as we've heard this week, some of them help somebody get started. Some of them help them get it across the finish line. Some of them have an entire project made, but it costs money to get it out there into the world. It costs money to, get it uh, with some promoter that will be spreading the word about the album.
Right.
I released an album this summer, and I didn't spend that money to try to do that. So what that means is I spent time and a little bit of money. Don and I made the record together, and he's a great one to make a record with because he plays every instrument known to man, and even some unknown to man. Uh, and so you can make a record, with a producer like that produces and plays, relatively inexpensively. But on the backside, there's also expenses of, manufacturing and promotion and distribution and all that kind of stuff that also takes money. It's those kind of invisible costs that you don't think about. So all of this grant money is coming in to be applied where the artist deems it's necessary. And then we have our community together to try to be a resource for some of these artists. We've got a lot of experience in various, areas of the music business that we want to be helpful to these artists too. So sometimes it's different resources than just money. I'm really proud of the low overhead that our nonprofit has, because we're, it's a bunch of volunteers. It's a bunch of people that really believe in this stuff and really believe in, uh, uh, supporting artists. Maybe they're in a tenuous spot and they're trying to think if they can afford to keep going, and this is a little attaboy, attagirl to get them boosted, So we did it. We killed a half hour.
It's time for some music. Yeah.
It's time for some music. Let's bring on our friend Meghan. Clarisse, I'm going to just throw up a little sign to get us from this section of the show gracefully over to the musical portion. We'll be right back. Was that pretty graceful?
That was amazing.
Graceful. Yeah. Hi, Megan.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
All right, makes me smile to see you sitting at that piano.
I follow you on all the things, and one of your signatures is having these great outfits. And I'm looking at all those hats on your wall. Yes. You got one for every outfit.
I do. I just, for me, that's part of it. And my little 5-year-old self would be so happy that I get to play music and play dress up every day.
I love that. Is the Surrey with the fringe on top? Is that what we're looking at right now?
This one is like silky with fringe. Yeah.
Oh, silky with a fringe on top. Oh, you look adorable. And
thank you.
Your beautiful smile doesn't hurt at all either. You just you have a warmth to you from 1,000 miles away. You know what I mean? You just really do. Yeah. Yeah, Megan and I have gotten to hang out a couple different times. I mentioned the house concert that we played together in Estes Park. And you're just so graceful and gentle. And then we did a workshop together down in Austin at Girl Guitar. And
it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you walked in and I was like, God, she looks so familiar, but she's so out of context here in Austin. And it was so good to have you in the room and have your input and your experience, that you are so generous with.
Oh, thank you. I had a great time, and you are just a plethora of knowledge and songwriting expertise. I'm a huge fan, and yeah, it was great.
Likewise.
To be there.
Thank you, sweet friend. Okay, so I was doing some hard Googling on you, and it said you were born in California, but you are so thorough. Were you born in California?
No, that must be a different Meghan Clarisse.
No.
I love California. I've been there many times, but I was not born there. I was born in Virginia, and then I spent about 9 years in Texas. And then when I was 14, my family moved us to Colorado.
Okay. Well, you are so thoroughly Colorado. I thought, can that be right? But yeah, okay. So different coast. You came from a different coast. Where in Texas were you?
Arlington, the Metroplex.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. Mm-hmm. And when you moved to Colorado at 14, were you already into music by then?
I had started playing piano pretty young, but when I was little, I was in lessons, and I think I only did 2 or 3 years of lessons. And my parents, I didn't like to practice. My parents were like, "Okay, that's enough." But I always come back to it. I take a break, come back to it, and then when I was about 16, I think I got my first guitar.
Okay. And did you enjoy practicing guitar more than piano?
I mean, yeah, I definitely play guitar more now. It's easier to bring to shows for sure. I almost never, I never bring this piano. um, but yeah, I think, I guess I like both, but guitar is really special.
Yeah, it is. It's more of a campfire instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
that's great. Do you have family that plays?
My dad played piano when he was growing up, so we had a piano in the house always, and he could play. He didn't play a lot, and then when I was 18, I moved overseas with an aunt and uncle. They might be watching tonight.
Hey,
All right.
And my uncle played guitar. And so he had a guitar. I brought a guitar over to Switzerland. I lived with them for about 10 months over there and took care of their kiddos.
wow.
Um,
Cool.
yeah.
Hey, Susan, there's a message there about Meghan being a huge talent and an even better human. And I know
Ah,
you do a lot
Oh,
of
thank you,
volunteer
Paige.
work. You do a lot of volunteer work in Denver. You want to talk about any of that?
Sure, yeah, I'd love to. So I have two favorite nonprofits. Obviously, Howlin Dog Music Group is one of them. And quick side note, I'm getting married next month, and in lieu of a traditional registry, my fiance and I have our two favorite nonprofits that people can donate to instead of
wow.
buying us a traditional gift. And so Howling Dog Music Group is my organization that I chose, and then Levi chose Kiva, which is a nonprofit he loves. But
Wow.
my other favorite nonprofit is Musicians on Call. They're a Nashville-based nonprofit, and they have programs all around the country, not in every city yet, but hopefully the program will continue to grow and expand. It's been around since 1999. And I've been volunteering since 2019. So it's bedside music. Since 2019, I've been going into Children's Hospital and taking music, my guitar, room to room for patients. And it's probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done with my time. And now we've expanded to the VA. So I also play for the vets. And I've played a couple of times at another facility we just expanded to. It's called Laredon, and it's a day program for adults with disabilities. And, you know, so many times people say, like, oh, you're such a good person, you volunteer. But I'm like, you don't understand. I get so much out of it. Like, it's almost selfish. Every time, like, I go on a Tuesday, every time I'm driving there, it's like, takes me an hour to get there. It's rush hour. I'm stressed. I've worked all day. And then you just have this complete perspective shift while you're there. I mean, it's, I don't have children. I don't know what that's like to have, sometimes they're living in the hospital. And just like the smiles you see, the tears, there's usually tears good tears, but yeah, it's driving back home is like every time it's just this 180 shift of like, I'm lucky I even get to go home tonight. Not everybody does. And it's such an important thing to do.
I love that
I love
so much. Talk
Yeah,
about
me
the
too.
power of music, of what kind of muscle it brings to different situations. And man, that Musicians on Call sounds like a beautiful thing. You're at a bedside of somebody? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so we pair musicians with a volunteer guide. So the volunteer guide is a hospital volunteer that will take the musician room to room. So the musician only has to think about really playing for each patient, and so the guide will knock on the door and ask, do you want a song tonight? And if the answer is yes, then they'll bring me in. And yeah, I play bedside for the patients, for the families. Sometimes, depending on the patient, it might be more meaningful for the family. Maybe the patient's sleeping. But sometimes, I mean, the parents get as much out of it as the kiddos.
Sure.
I love that. There's a really great Soldier Songs and Voices chapter in
Mm.
Denver. through the Denver VA, and there's a guy named John Evans. Have you ever run into John Evans up at the VA hospital? I met him through Soldier Songs, which is a songwriting with veterans organization. But I might have to connect you two, because
I would love
you would
that.
be, yeah, you would be a real asset to bringing what you know about songwriting and expression and painting pictures with your words to, you know, these are military folks that really need to express themselves, you know, really need a place to put some of that stuff. And you probably have crossed paths with him without even know it, but I'm going to connect you guys, because you both have huge hearts.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I would love that. There's a similar program at Children's that I've done a couple times at Sing Me a Story, and they pair you with a patient, and then, oh, hi, Rick. And then you write a song with the patient based on their story. So that's super meaningful. But yeah, I have heard of that program, and I'd love to get involved.
Yeah. We're just going to tie up all your time with
volunteer work. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if you follow me on social media, you know I like to stay busy. I like to just
great.
go. So it's good.
Boy, having your wedding registry be a place to give to your charities, that I think that's all you need to know about Meghan.
Yeah.
Besides
Yeah.
her musicality. Here's another thing. I read this quote. I'm going to put it up there. And then can I ask you to play a song?
Absolutely.
You know, you've gotten some national press on your latest project, and one of the things that I love so much, it said the cactus, rocks, sagebrush dust, and the air itself take shape as characters on the Meghan Clarisse musical canvas. And I just loved that, because I thought that too. I thought, you know, your sense of place in your writing is really beautiful, and I think that feels like one of the fingerprints of this kind of Southwest Americana sound. You know, I think about this with the Rifters, with Michael Hearn. You are this way, where the music becomes, because I love being in that part of the country. Your music becomes this soundtrack that just, it makes me feel, when I'm out there, it makes me feel like I'm in a movie scene, that I'm, you know, that this music has been curated for what I'm seeing. And you're really, really good at that with painting those pictures of this very specific place that has, you know, what's your album is like Ghosts of a Small
Shadows of a
Town?
Ghost Town.
Shadows of a Ghost Town. Sorry, dang it. I was gonna try to get that right, but after I got it wrong that you were from California, I didn't trust any of the information.
All good, all good. I have a
Yeah.
song called "The Ghost of California" on there. So
Okay.
there's a lot of references.
Well, I think she should play us one of those paintings.
Yeah, play us a painting, Meghan.
Okay. Let's see. You know what? I was gonna play a piano song to start. I don't know how much time we have, but
you got time.
Well, okay. All right. I'll do a piano song from my first CP, and then if there's time, I would love to play Strong, which is one of those kind of place songs, and it's one that Susan edited for me. And gave me some great feedback. That is on the album that I made with Howling Dog Music Group. So, okay, but
Beautiful.
first this one.
Okay, Teri and I are gonna go away, but we're in the background listening. Okay.
Okay, and just let me know if you can't hear or anything like that. Sometimes the wind blows down so hard, catches me off guard, reminds me that I'm fragile. I lie awake and watch you sleep and wonder if you're dreaming. Do you think of me? Sometimes the trees, they seem to fear storms and they are near, longing for protection. I'm not sure if we're prepared. I think we're still both scared.
to change direction. But you're part of me, I can't get free. You're part of me, there's no release. I don't know what I'll do or who I'll be if there's no you. It's all out of my control, but I won't ever give up hope. I don't want to let you go. Sometimes the wind pulls down so hard, catches me off guard, reminds me that I'm fragile. I know time is never kind, as it all unwinds, melting like a candle. And sometimes clouds are cruel and mean, and it always seems they'll get us spitefully. God knows that this isn't fair, but I don't think she cares about what we need. But you're part of me, I can't get free. You're part of me, there's no release. I don't know what I'll do or who I'll be if there's no you. It's all out of my control, but I won't ever give up hope. I don't want to let you go. I don't know what I'll do or who I'll be if there's no you. It's all out of my control, but I won't ever give up. I don't know what I'll do or who I'll be if there's no you. It's all out of my control, but I won't ever give up hope. I don't want to let you go. No.
Ah,
Oh, thank you.
that
I
was
hope the
so
sound
beautiful.
is okay. You know,
Beautiful.
never know
Beautiful.
on Zoom.
Do you play piano at your show? I know you said you don't take that piano at your show. but-
Yeah, I don't take this one. No, hardly ever. On a rare
Okay.
occasion, I'll bring a
Yeah.
keyboard, but mostly guitar.
Sounded really good for someone that said she hated practicing piano.
Yes.
That was beautiful. You know, that is a different. Okay, so that was your first EP? That
Uh-huh.
was on your first EP? Has way more of a pop sensibility about it. You know, the
Yeah.
melodies and yeah.
The first two EPs did. The second EP was a collaborative effort, so it was all duets and co-writes. So every song I did on that one featured someone else. So there's definitely a different vibe on that one. And then the first one, yeah, it was like my first time recording for real, and it was a full band on every song, and so it definitely had like a less of a stripped down acoustic feel, which is kind of more genuine to who I am, I think.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking of my early records, Meghan, and there was some bravado in having really big, large productions on things. And I think it took me a lot of time and getting comfortable with myself and discovering what I sound like to feel the confidence in my songwriting and to have, you know, less on there to let the songs come through a little bit more. I think on my first, you know, album or two, I was kind of hiding out underneath all the sound, you know. Do you feel that way with your
Definitely.
looking
Yeah.
at your early work?
Yeah, I think it's maybe more vulnerable to have less instrumentation, like more of you essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. This is the subject on everybody's mind. What is it like to make a record with Don Richmond?
Amazing. Just like you said, he
Amazing.
plays every instrument known to man and some that are not known to man. And I did have my band play as well. So we had drums, bass, pedal steel, and lead guitar. And then Don really just like filled in all the pieces, banjo, mando, guitar on some, I think fiddle, something I've never heard of. He played upright bass on one song. Yeah, he is just amazingly talented. Dobro, he played that, I forgot. And we did a show at Society Hall with him, and I just felt so lucky we got to play with him, and he played all these different instruments. And there's like one song where he like had his fiddle, but he had his mando on, I think, or banjo, and so like he'd switch. Just, and he is it's funny you said the word gentle earlier. That's how I would describe Don. He is like, for someone who knows so much and is so well connected, he's very like soft spoken and doesn't come into a project like authoritative at all. Like just very he, you know, and he told me like, this is your project and what you want to do. And so yeah, he's the Sultan of Strings, as Neil said. Yes.
You know what I love is that he's a songwriter and he produces like a songwriter, you know, where he's not just playing the instrument, he's playing the song. You know what I mean? And that's one of the funnest things. The last, you know, I've done 2 projects with him, and this last one, like I recorded my vocals and my guitar part, and then I drove away. And I was like, see, send me some mixes whenever you know what I mean? And to see, I trust him so much, and I think it's because he's a songwriter, because he knows the parts to pull out and the parts to support, and and getting to hear my songs through his filters, you know, makes me like my writing better. You know what I mean? It makes me relate to my songs better. Well, I love that. I love that you got to work with him, and you know, it's a interesting personality trait for someone to put you so at ease and also make you want to do your best. You know, and I think Don has that, whatever that is, that allows you to relax enough to do your best and to straighten up enough to care, you know, as much as he does, you know. So
yeah, I think he's inspiring, which is probably the best kind of leadership. I think.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
I would just, I just want to be very clear about this, that when people receive their grant money, they are free to take it to any studio they want to go to.
That is true.
They don't have to come here.
You did tell me that, but I thought, you know, I want to try out this studio in Alamosa, and I feel like my money did go farther there. I think the rates are very competitive, maybe cheaper than what you might find in the Denver area. But then also just having that that huge benefit of having Don, that like, oh, maybe we need a little this here, and he just can do it.
Yeah, he can.
So yeah, good point, Teri. that getting a grant isn't contingent on your willingness to hire Don to produce a record, although it's a really good idea. I'm just going to say it's a really good idea. I want to ask you about, because we're, you know, we got a handful more minutes, and I would love to have another song in here. So when you got your grant, can you talk about like, where were you in your process? Had you already started recording? When you got that grant, what was the first thing that went through your mind of being able to, you're able to do fill in the blank now because you had a little bit of financial support?
Okay, well, I have a funny story about this because I applied for the grant at some point, and I got a voicemail from Teri saying, you know, you won this grant. And I actually thought it was a scam. I had to like Google
Of
Howlin.
course.
I didn't remember applying for it. I did like one, you know, once I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, okay. But you know, I was just busy all the time running around, and it was like a few months later I get this voicemail and I was like, what? Like this, I was like, I think this might be a scam. And I told my brother. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah. And then funny story, I know two people who are from Alamosa, and I asked them, I'm like, do you know of Howling Dog Music Records? And they were like, oh yeah, everyone knows Don and Teri. They are wonderful people. Everyone loves them. And these are two people I really trust. So I was like, okay, all right, I'm in. But yeah, I had recorded the 2 EPs prior, and that was really my first experiences recording professionally. So still very new to it, and I think still really like finding my voice. Like I said, the second EP involved, you know, featured a friend of mine on every song as a duet or co-write, and so that wasn't like as much as really just my voice. It was a collaborative effort. And then the first one, I think, you know, I didn't really know how to, I guess, advocate yet for what I really wanted to hear, or maybe I just didn't even really know yet. And so, you know, I really love those 5 songs on that first EP. But if I was doing it now, I think I probably would have taken a different approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was excited to make my first full-length album using the money from the grant, and it's not a concept album, but it's sort of, you know, like you said, a lot of these songs reference the Southwest, Arizona and California and Colorado. You know, I find I reference a lot of Colorado in my writing just because it's where I've spent a lot of time. And you know, I used to ride horses in the mountains when I was younger, and I hike a lot and I camp. And so I think that just kind of comes through. It's part of who I am.
Yeah, I can see like I get what you're saying. It's not a concept album, but it's so well put together, and each song is a part of a whole. You know what I mean? I mean, the songs stand alone, but to listen to the whole thing, it feels kind of cinematic. It's really nice. It's really beautiful.
Well,
We're gonna I'm gonna have to stop talking. Will you play another song for us, Megan?
I would love
and
to.
then
Yep.
we'll before you switch gears to play another song, what would you say to someone who's watching right now that is, you know, enjoying the music, they love music, they're not quite sure that their donation would make a difference?
Oh, it definitely makes a difference. Yeah. So, okay, there's so many things I have to say about that. I'll try and make it brief. But so, yeah, I mean, the donation, I got $3,000 the first year, which is huge. That's a lot of money. And, you know, it's very expensive to record. I involved my band, so I had to pay them. And, you know, if you record anywhere else, you're going to have to pay musicians. Studio musicians are expensive. The recording, the mixing, the mastering, the, like you said, production, and ordering all of the things, CDs or vinyl. And then I did hire a promoter for the first time for this project. So yeah, it's all very expensive. But more than that, I think 2 things I got out of this, in addition to the financial piece, is that I got this like somebody else believes in my music enough to give me money. Like that's that was, I think, such a huge thing. And like just my confidence as a songwriter, it's been a journey for me. And like performing, you know, 10 years ago, I would have said, oh, I'm not really a musician. Like I just, you know, my songs aren't very good. And yeah, so I mean, I think that was huge for an organization to say, here's this money, we want to help you. Like just huge. And then the second piece is the community of people I've been introduced to. It's huge. I think people are our biggest asset always. And, you know, you mentioned the two Saras earlier and like, oh, their paths have probably passed because they're or crossed because they're both from Houston. And so Sarah Golden, I actually met at the Big Barn Festival last year. We were working at the Howling Dog table together. And she is so great. Phenomenal. She was actually touring through Denver. And so I got to see her last night. And it just like you said, you know, like all these people I meet, I probably never would have, you know, I didn't know of Dawn and Teri even, you know, in this little town in Colorado. It's about 5 hours from me. But yeah, it's just huge to like be connected to this network of people who care about artists, who care about music as much as I do. Is huge.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, what you got for us? You gonna play a song?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't do a very good setup here. I might have to. I'm not really facing you guys, but okay, just imagine.
Just give us one good look in the camera, and then we'll just hold that in our mind.
Okay.
Okay, Teri and I are gonna go away, and you're gonna get the whole screen.
So this is a song. It's called Strong. I write a lot of sad songs, but I've been through a lot of hard things, as we all have. And so I thought, you know, I really need like a feel-good song, something for someone going through a hard time that's positive. And this is one that I sent to Susan. I had written it, and being part of this community, Susan sent me some edits back, and I loved her edits, and I think it really became the song it did because of that. So this is Strong.
It's a winding path and you feel so alone. You don't have a map, there's so much unknown. You're taking all the steps for whatever comes next. And when the storms are building, are you still willing? When you've had all you can take between the rocks and a hard place, don't lose your drive. It's just one step at a time. Gonna hold on strong. Been put to the test, you feel tired and weak. Gotta give it your best for others to see. And when it doesn't let up, you've got to step up. And when the storms are building, are you still willing? When you've had all you can take between the rocks and a hard place, don't lose your drive. It's just one step at a time. Gonna hold on strong. Get to the ridge, there's gonna be a bridge. Leave your doubtful thoughts and take it across. Each day is a climb and your spirit it aches. You'd like to unwind or try to escape. You're ready to rest, but you're not done yet. When you've had all you can take between the rocks and a hard place, don't lose your drive. It's just one step at a time. Gonna hold on strong. Hold on strong.
Oh, I remember that
Beautiful.
song.
My favorite part of that song is in the bridge. I think I had said something about a ridge, and you were like, "What if it's a bridge in the bridge? When you get to the ridge, there's going to be a bridge." And I was like, "Brilliant."
That's just one of
Beautiful.
the services we provide here. Oh, Megan, thanks so much for spending your time with us tonight, and
Thank you for having me.
for everything that you've done directly for Howlin' Dog, and indirectly just by being the kind of person we want representing Howlin' Dog Music Group. That's really great. You're just a treat.
Thank you. So as
Yeah.
are both of you.
Well, we'll see you somewhere around Colorado. I just spent all day looking at my map and my booking schedule for looking for places to play next year. So we'll have to put together a show
Let's
when
do
I'm out
it.
here next year. Okay. I sure love you. Thank
All
you so
right.
much for the time. We're going to let you go, and Teri and I are going to keep talking until we get Sara VanBuskirk up here. Thanks again for being
All
with
right.
us,
Thank
Megan.
you.
Bye, Megan.
Bye.
Oh, what a delight she is.
She is. Absolutely. Yes. That we're her wedding registry is just mind
Oh,
blowing.
yeah. Oh, I hope she got to see that next comment by Rick Jones. Rick, thanks for watching. And it sounds like you know Megan pretty well, and we love her. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for tuning in. To our donors that donated while she was playing, thank you so much for your contributions to what we're doing over here at Howlin' Dog. And we couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't even want to try. So thanks
Yeah.
for watching the broadcast, and you can scan that QR code that's above my head right now, or you can Venmo us at Howlin' Dog Music Group, or you can write a check, or you can take some money to the next Rifter show and stick it in Don Richmond's tip jar and, and tell him this is for Howlin' Dog. That's great. What do you want to talk about here before we get Sara up real quick? Anything specific?
No, except how generous people are being. I'm so grateful. I love that people have faith in this little organization, and I've seen several comments this week about you've made good choices as far as the grant applications.
Yeah.
Which I know y'all, I'm not on that committee. I'm very grateful for that. I know you all worked really hard to get that done and pick the right people, and it's a beautiful thing.
It is. I was thinking just you know, the sample of the artists that we've gotten to talk to this week, and you know how different they are, and how
Yeah,
they're in different places in their careers, and they have different goals and dreams for their careers maybe, but we are a through line for that, and Howlin' Dog gets to be this common thread that gets to
yeah,
run through all of these different musicians' careers, and that is really, really cool. You know, Megan mentioned that I got to give her some feedback on a song. That's something that we've done if we have an artist that maybe doesn't have a ton of experience and they want to. I know this from my own songwriting. You know, I spent my first 12 years writing in a vacuum where I didn't want anybody to see it until it was all the way done and polished and good. And through a couple of different experiences, I realized what a valuable thing it is to show that stuff to people before I'm all the way
yeah.
done with it and get some feedback on it, you know. And
Right.
I'm 30 years down the road in a writing career, and so it's really neat when our grantees will take advantage of just that thing. Not that I'm not an expert, but I do know what it is to write a song, and maybe I will, you know, one of our board members that's also songwriters will see something that you as the artist, you're too close to it. You can't see it objectively because you've spent, you know, hours working on this song. You're not objective
Right.
anymore. And so
Right.
that's been a real treat, you know, to get to work with people intimately with their work, you know, as they're getting ready to record it. And that's been a gift to me, you know,
Yeah.
from Howlin' Dog.
Yeah.
So I love what we're doing, and I love that other
I
people
do
love it.
too. Yes, yeah, all of that, all of that.
Yeah.
We've got Sara coming up next, and I've been watching some clips of her on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
We're talking big band, big sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Seraphims. I can't wait for her to talk about all that. Very different. All of our artists are unique and themselves, and that's what they bring to the community. And it is such a gift to all of us. Yeah.
Yeah. I think how else would I get exposed to some of this stuff?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I live out in the country by myself, and when I leave my house, I'm driving by myself, and when I end up at my destination, I'm usually by myself. And I like to be outside of the reach of civilization, and Howlin' Dog is bringing me some beautiful artists to listen to right into my field of view and my reach. So, and Teri, I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to thank you personally for all your work for this organization. Especially getting ready for this FUNDrive. Another gift has been having continuous and regular conversations with you about what we want to do here, and so thank you for putting in all the time and heart work that it takes to make the details work. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You put in a lot of work too.
I did. I got busy on Canva.
All right. Canva, StreamYard, you've got it all figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got a couple live events coming up that maybe we could mention before we bring Sara in. We're going to have a booth at the Barn Dance in Taos, New Mexico. That's September 10th through 12th. So you buy a ticket to the festival, you get free access to the Howlin' Dog Music Group tent. Or maybe you buy a ticket to come see the Howlin' Dog Music Group bunch, and you get free access to a festival full of music. I don't know how that works.
Me either, but it's fabulous.
Yeah, we'll be hanging out there. I'm playing a set with the Red River Songwriters, and then my plan is to get Pipsqueak and her water dish and a lawn chair and go back there and hear the music from the Howlin' Dog tent. So come by and say hello and give us our feedback on this broadcast, and put some money in the jar. Come get a t-shirt, come get a hoodie, come get get you some of the good merch that we have going on. Music. Oh yeah, of course, music.
Music. Yeah.
And then on the 13th, we're going to do, actually, I'll let you talk about it, Teri. It's right in your neighborhood.
It is in my neighborhood. The day after the Barn Dance is a great day to fill up Society Hall in Alamosa, Colorado. We did this last year. It worked very well. We do a songwriter swap, all connected to Howlin' Dog somehow. We've got Susan, who's on board, Don, who's on the board, Eliza Gilkison, who is on the board, Ben Jones, who is one of our grant winners this year, and who am I leaving out?
Walt Wilkins.
Walt. How can I leave out Walt? Walt, who is he has been a patron from the first day, and he's been a supporter. Yeah, he does lots of stuff for us, like play a concert for free. So thank you, Walt.
When he was one of the hosts for the telethon, he said something that I think really resonated with people when you asked him why he was a patron. And he said, music is my church, and this is how I tithe. I love that so much.
It
know.
was beautiful answer. Beautiful.
And
So
if you've ever
ticket,
seen Walt play, you know he's answering a call. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like that guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
tickets for the September 13th at Society Hall are at societyhall.org. You can get your tickets for that. It's time for Sara.
Let's
Don't you
get
think?
her. Let's go get her.
Okay.
We're gonna let me do my fancy thing. Hold on. Hang on. Let me get that off of there. Then we're gonna go away. I gotta talk my way. Hey.
Hey,
Hi,
hey,
Sara.
can you hear me?
Oh, there's
Yeah.
the real Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
I'm live in person. It's me.
You are. Thanks
Hi,
for joining
Susan.
us.
Hi, Teri. How are y'all?
Good. Good to see you.
It's so good to see y'all. Thanks for having me.
You have electricity. You have air
We have
conditioning.
all those things down here in Houston. It was a little bit scary there for a second, but
Yeah,
thanks to
everything's
the
good.
commute.
Did you lose
Good.
electricity? What's happening in Houston? What did I miss?
You know, just a lot of being an artist and working really hard and some gaps in between. So
Gotcha. I
you
hear you.
filled the gaps. The electricity is back on. We are functioning at full capacity, and I'm grateful to be here.
I see you got a
Yes.
candle burning back there, though. That's good. That's
I do.
conscientious.
There's a little, joke about, I've heard it about neurodivergent people and about queer people, but we're allergic to the big light.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Good lighting. Good lighting.
Yeah.
Soft lighting is really
Yeah.
important.
The
That's
big
great.
one? No.
Yeah.
I'll go hide.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for
Okay.
joining us. It has been fun spending time with your music this week.
Oh, I'm so thrilled, and it's such an honor to have, any new ears, but I really appreciate yours.
Yeah. Well, I'm a fan. I didn't know you before you were a grantee,
Yeah.
before your application. And I put you in the category of reasons why I'm grateful that I'm a part of this group, because it's helping me discover music that I already love. I just haven't heard it yet,
Oh yeah.
and it's really great.
That's
You're a true talent.
That's been one of the reasons that it's so rewarding to, volunteer with the Recording Academy Texas chapter or anything in this industry, is to be able to discover new talent and to collaborate. And so I feel you there.
What's the recording? Tell me about the Recording Academy.
The Recording Academy is, the Grammys and all that. They have, private chapters per region. And so I'm a member there. And the members of the Recording Academy are the ones who vote for the artists that win Grammys. So if you are a member of the Recording Academy, you just have to have, a certain amount of public releases, and you're considered whatever field you're in, whether it's publishing or songwriting or artist management. You can kind of, pick your lane, but then you get to vote.
How long have you been doing that?
I believe I joined in 2023. I was part of the new member class. So after that, you just pay your dues every year, and you get to go to the mixers, and you get to have all the volunteer opportunities. You get to make your voice heard in the industry, and so that's
great. Yeah, that's really great. Is it like you're getting to connect with your peers? Beyond Houston?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yeah. So for instance, I would get invited, or I would know about a mixer in Nashville, or I would know about a mixer in LA. I can buy a ticket to the actual Grammys. I could go to their kind of mixers there during Grammy week, things like that. So that's all the opportunities that you have. There's endless ones. It just depends on what you can do.
Yeah. Do you go to Nashville often?
I have been a few times, but I'm going to be there Americana Fest week. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we got a donation. Look at that.
Hey!
Yeah.
Way to go. She hadn't even sang anything yet. Y'all are going to lose
You're gonna open your wallet.
Yeah.
I'll be there in September, the week of September 18th.
Okay.
Popping up, playing a show at Backslide Vintage. And I'm just seeing what else I can get into while I'm there, and share the music and meet some cool people.
So I had some bad information from the Google on Meghan, our last guest. So I'm hesitant to trust what I have found out about you online.
All right.
But I'm
here to debunk if I need to.
Yeah, fact check me on this. I saw that you had like co-written an album.
Mm-hmm.
The Neon, what was that? What was
Land of the Neon?
Yeah. How did that come about?
I've been a collaborator and friend with Cam Franklin for we've been friends in this, music scene in Houston, Texas for 15 years or so.
Oh, he's at Houston?
Yes, in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And so, we would cross paths and say hello. And then eventually she showed up to a residency that I had at the Big Top on Main Street. And she said, I want to write with you. And I said, okay. I didn't co-write with anybody at the time. I had come out of some creative social trauma. I was learning how to surround myself in my private life with the right kind of people.
Yeah.
And I was then learning how to surround myself with the right kind of people in my professional life subsequently. And I thought I didn't like writing with people, but it really was just that I was surrounded by not great people. So when she asked me, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I'm going to give that a shot. And it worked. It just worked immediately. And we co-wrote, I don't even know. We've written a good handful of songs. Quite a few of them are on the record. And I was blessed to be able to contribute some guitars and vocals as well. So I perform with her pretty often.
Oh, that's great. And are any of those songs on one of your projects, or it was all specifically writing for her project?
This was writing for her project. Cam, however, did co-produce my upcoming self-titled album. So we did a little crossover there. I helped her write hers, and we just released a single called Didn't I? That's with Kevin Morby, Grammy Award winner. He wrote Beautiful Strangers for Mavis Staples this year. And she won a Grammy this past year as well for her contribution on a compilation record for the King of Zydeco. So, just kind of everything happened all at once, and it's been kind of a wild ride. So she went ahead and helped me co-produce my record. She lended some background vocals on my record and just kind of, gave me a lot of little pointers that really helped, especially in the final mixing process.
Yeah. So what was that? What was that like to go from having not ever written with somebody to, a handful of songs that appear on an album?
So like I have to clarify, I have written with people. They just, it hasn't been my cup of tea, in retrospect.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that, releasing something that I'm still proud of and that I am happy to, be a part of it's just, I don't know. It's a really wonderful feeling, especially when your projects aren't coming out as quickly as you would like. If you are able to kind of just let that creativity flow out everywhere and collaborate as much as possible with incredible people, it's so rewarding because, it's songs you love to listen to. And then you're like, wow, I did something on that. I think, okay, great.
That's fantastic. That's
kind of how I feel about the creative process in general with songwriting. Once it's really done, it just ends up being a song I really like and I forget. sometimes that,
Yeah.
I wrote that.
Yeah. That's really great. So when you do that, when you co-write with someone, I'll just preface it with saying, when I co-write with somebody, it feels like I'm getting this front row seat to someone else's process. And I always walk out of there, I don't always walk out with a song I love. I always walk out of there with another tool in my tool bag,
Yeah.
What
absolutely.
was something that what was something that writing with Cam gave you as far as a tool?
Oh, one of my favorite things about writing with people, especially if they present the idea, is I feel like developing a song from an idea is almost too simple. For me. I can kind of, at least with Cam, I was able to tap in exactly with what she was kind of wanting and shape the music and contribute lyrics occasionally and things like that. So it's just the tools, I would say, is for me, one of my hangups, my personal hangups in songwriting has been the amount of time that it takes me to get it out. I'll get stuck in a perfectionist loop. I really almost don't trust the song unless it's had some time. So I'll dump on a voice note and then I'll go on a walk, a few months later. And sometimes there's a voice note from 2 years ago. And I'll put a little line in there that I see out on the walk or that I feel from the vibe of whatever I dumped on there. And then the next time I'm in the studio, which might be 6 months later, I'll find that note that says, recording number 781. This song's about blank, blank, and blank. The first line is this. And then I'll develop it. And then I'm like, oh, I really trust this because, it has some layers and some years and some history. And while that I really do love and appreciate that style of songwriting, I think collaborating with someone that has their own timeline, it helped me kind of get out of my own way and just, execute the vision and just like let it flow. Whatever comes out. And if it sticks, it sticks. And so it's kind of, it was a little bit of a catalyst for a new style of songwriting that I've started to develop, which is to limit the amount of time between creation and output. And that's kind of been my newer vision, especially with the recording and the building my upcoming record. One of the skills that I had to learn was engineering, and I had to because of finances and lack of support, I had to learn how to record myself and record others to get the sounds that I wanted. And so because of that skill, I was able to then immediately record an idea. And because I was hearing it in such high quality, I would be able to develop it quickly and not let it sit kind of on a shelf. So that's been a really, really cool effect, a domino effect.
Yeah. I'm trying to take this all in because what you were describing at the beginning feels a little bit more like found object art, right? Where you've got this melody that's dormant over here, and then you have this line that you wrote 2 months earlier, and then you're on a walk and you see and it just like you are quilting, and you've got these scraps of fabric from all these different parts of your life.
I have a song out called Tennessee Whiskey, and it's four verses, and it's written at 4 different times in my life. And so that song is so layered for me because it is like chapters, and that ties into kind of an overarching theme. But
I think that goes. So would you say that the songs that are on the album, The Place Where You Are, would you say that was your approach with those songs, and that you worked with Cam and you got this vibe of having your space between ingredients or patches of fabric be smaller, and so things are getting put together more quickly? Am I tracking there?
So really, The Place Where You Are was a collection of songs that I wrote when I was about 15. And I had them. There was a zero curation. And, somebody offered to pay for a recording situation, and I got them out and I got them, released.
Wow. Okay.
And
Great.
so that kind of had its own life. And I say post that because that was released in 2010.
Yeah.
Post that album, and it was recorded probably like 2005, 6.
Were
7.
you 15 years old in 2010?
I was not.
Okay. All right. Just checking. I was doing some math there.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they had just kind of sat with me, and
I
would play out, and I would play them, and I would play a bunch of other ones, but it was more like, oh, these are so ancient, I need to record them. That's how I felt at the time.
Yeah.
And releasing did kind of unlock a new way for me to write songs. And then I would say after that, I had this idea that you couldn't really write a song unless like the heavens parted and it just was bestowed upon you from above. And I think a big part of that is just somewhere inside I knew that my calling was to be a vessel for something bigger. And I didn't really know how to practice that, right? And to work within the divine, or to work, whatever you want to call it, to work within that calling. And so I would just wait for it to hit me, and then I would write that song all at once. During that time, I was in a really abusive relationship. And so I didn't play out much, and I didn't write much. And, because I didn't really know how to, I gave away my power, and I didn't really know how to access my own voice.
Yeah.
And because, I was stuck somewhere, and I was isolated, and I was experiencing, a lot of trauma. I had, it was awful. And so I think that at a certain point, I decided I have to heal, and I have to thrive. This is not for me anymore. And I think that happened when I looked at my son, and I was like, oh, he can't see this. This is not correct. This is not in my value system. This is not what I believe. And why am I accepting that? Okay. Yeah. And so I think once, I removed myself from that situation, then I think I started, the abuse gets stuck, like the way you're trained, if you're stuck in it long enough to operate, it stuck with me, and it bled into every part of my life. I believed the lies in my own brain. Somebody else's lies would come out of my mouth about my own self. And because of that, I would censor myself. I would censor what came out of my mouth. And that's where I think that kind of perfectionist loop style of songwriting came from. I can't just open my mouth, because if I'm vulnerable, somebody will use it against me. Sure. I can't just share a song about my perspective or my feelings, because then 100 people are going to know what's happening in my own life, and I don't even know. I had split myself into so many pieces, and that didn't just come from the abuse situation. That came from growing up queer in a church, and just kind of disassociating who I was and separating them into categories and boxes. So I think once I started having that personal healing and just really like getting comfortable with who I was, taking responsibility for everywhere that I could, anywhere that I could, even the bad stuff, this is on me, and how can I move forward, and have success in my life. And that's when I really started to kind of merge who I was personally. And I think that's when, professionally, things started happening for me. I've been playing in Houston since I was 18. I am 40 now. Last week was my first headlining show in the city. So, you know,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Big deal.
I've been a working artist for a really long time. And so it's crazy how long it can take, but I do truly believe it's all in the personal work. And if you're not, you know, seeing where you're at and showing up as much as you can for yourself and doing that work, you know, go to therapy if you need to go to therapy, talk to your friends, make sure who you're with, who you're next to, who you're surrounding yourself with. That's a huge part of who you are. And so make sure you're surrounded by quality people. Yeah. Once I started doing that, I started getting really obsessed with my audience, and I started, you know, treating my art with more respect and treating it like a practice and showing up and, you know, advancing my skills and advancing my output and my outreach. And that's been the most rewarding part, I think, for me, is to see, you know, the work I'm putting in behind closed doors, to be able to, you know, be on a stage like the Miller Outdoor Theater last week. And, you know, I think we clocked about 2,700 people, and that was just, whew.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that energy is irreplaceable, and I need more of that.
Well, and you know, we can't ever end up where we are without having walked where we've been. To put a riddle to it.
Absolutely.
And you know, I remember doing a workshop one time, Sarah, where this man was telling this story. We were writing a song, and this man was telling this story, and he was trying to keep himself from crying, right? Oh, wow. He was just trying to choke back. And it dawned on me, we can't express and repress at the same time. And I know I've had those times in my life when I've not felt like I had the right to my own story. Yeah. And I've always had since a teenager, I've always had this outlet of writing songs and knowing when there's something that's really hard to say, I can write about it and the power shifts into neutral. And when I sing about it, I get my power back. And you'd mentioned giving your power away, and that even in the course of the loss of your voice, you know, not your throat, but your expression, you know, that has always been my way out of that, out of that period. And so, you know, you mentioned being a queer kid growing up in a church setting, you know, like, what does it do to you to have to hide like that? I mean, what does that do to your creative? Does it bubble up and then it comes out and you can't help but put it out? Or...
I don't think I could hide the light or kind of the calling or the talent or the desire, even if I wouldn't admit it to myself. You know, I think it was there. I think I tried to squash my own light. I think I was trained to do that. And, you know, I finally got to a place where I was like, oh, you know, it's recognizing your gifts so that you can be of service to your community. And it's what I'm supposed to do. And, you know, I don't think I really recognized who I was until I was way older. You know, I was obsessed with like Jennifer Knapp when I was, you know, a preteen. And when I was an adult and I realized my queerness and she came out on Larry King, I was like, you know, and so I was like, oh, you know, I think what I lacked as a kid was the representation of who I could be, but I was still doing things like that where I was finding it anyway. Right. It's just like, it's like a second puberty, they say, right? It's like an aha. It's a big aha moment. So that's, I mean, that's really what it was for me. Is I've had a couple of those big aha moments. I hope I never stop having those big aha moments.
Will you give us a big aha moment and play a song for us?
You do that.
Okay,
we're just talking.
We're just talking. I know. Maybe we should trade numbers after this. We can have more of these conversations, not online, but I'm sure. We can invite some, you know. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that of yourself, and thanks in advance for what you're about to share with us. Remember, Teri and I are going to go away, but we're still listening in the background as well as our online audience. So.
All right, wonderful. Can y'all hear everything?
Yeah, strum it a little bit more there. There you go. Sounds good. Y'all, this is Sara VanBuskirk.
Did you know I'd be here in the end? Did you know that here's all I am? Did you know you were part of the plan? And if you want it, we got it. I'll show my hand. More than a friend. Oh, I needed more time. Oh, help, not feeling anymore. Won't you let me open the door? Here I am with nothing to hide. Deepest inside, take my hand and give me something. If you want it, all I got is time. One more than a friend.
Hey, Sara. Well, you sounded great, but I think you kind of overpowered our microphones, our speakers, our internet.
Oh no, I broke the internet.
You may have broken the internet. What a voice. What a voice.
Oh boy.
Okay, so what's it feel like to use that voice in front of 2,500 people in
Oh
Houston,
my gosh.
Texas?
It feels correct. It feels
Yeah.
correct. It feels
I love
like
that.
I have the energy, and to have somewhere for it to go is just, it's an incredible feeling. There's nothing like singing to me. I feel like the most myself. After a show, you're going to find me a 100% in my element.
Oh, I love that.
I've reset everything, you know. It's the vagus nerve is very relaxed after that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so I need a little fact check. And Teri, please jump in but I gotta know. The internet said that you got to record with Emmylou Harris.
I did.
Is that true?
It's true.
How did that happen? Good, because I had this banner all ready to go, and I was afraid to put it up on the screen because I thought, God, what if that's not right? Yeah,
oh
my God.
You know, the right place at the right time, and just keep putting yourself in those places, right? So I was in Nashville at the bomb shelter recording Land of the Neon Sun with Cam Franklin, and Margot Price was on executive production, and so we were all in the studio. And you know, when you're there, there's opportunities that pop up, and so we were basically set up at the bomb shelter for 5 days straight. And it's one of my favorite situations to be in, honestly. A studio rat, just go in there and just see what comes out. No perfection loop, just let's see. So I was having a great time. I was living and eating and breathing music, and I would get home from the studio and just look at my guitar like, wow, I think I need to play that some more. And this one day, Allison Russell sent an invitation over to the studio for this project that she had put together called the Tennessee Freedom Singers. And this was, you know, she had done a couple of other things before, but this was to support Gloria Johnson's campaign in Nashville. And so she had got together this crazy, incredibly wonderful list of musicians and singers and songwriters to be a part of this group. And that's, you know, Brandi Carlile, Brittany Howard, Emmylou Harris, Fancy Haygood, Mary Gaucher, Jamie Lee Harris. It's just so many incredible artists. And I was, you know, probably the one that nobody knew who I was when I walked into the studio for that. But after a full day of recording and writing over at the bomb shelter, we, you know, did our hair and makeup, and we went over to the other studio, and I was starstruck. I just was standing there looking at everyone, trying to remember my tongue. And I walked up, I was actually kind of, you know, just orbiting Cam because she was my only, you know, point of contact. And at some point she leaned over and she said, Sara, I really love you, but you need to get the hell away from me and you need to go talk to your hero. And I really appreciate that push. And, you know, I did. And I went and introduced myself, and she turned and looked at me and just immediately stuck her hand out and said, hi, I'm Emmy. And I went, I know. I was like, remember your name, Sara VanBuskirk. Yeah. Hi, hello. And then we had a wonderful time learning the song together. And at the end of it, she tried to get me to adopt a dog from her rescue organization. I said, I'm sorry, I have a house full. That's what I do down in Texas too. But it was an incredible opportunity, and one that I will never forget.
That's so great. That's so great.
Yeah.
Can I ask? Oh, sorry, Teri. What did you?
Oh, it's Emmy Lou. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my heroes. I'd be starstruck.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
What did you do with your grant, or what are you doing with your grant?
So the Howlin Dog Music Grant paid for the mixing on my upcoming record. It also paid for some studio time. So
beautiful.
That was just an incredible relief.
Do you have a release date for your?
We're working on it right now. It's ready to go. It's mixed, it's mastered, and so we're just working on the appropriate rollout, trying to pay attention to my fans and trying to pay attention to my wave and my momentum, and booking as many shows as I can in the meantime, and trying all the songs out on my audience has been one of the most rewarding experiences. I will tell you though that people do get really upset if they can't go then and buy that. So I've begun the process of the pre-sales. And so if you would like to, support the project, you can do that by visiting my website, of course. And I'll just keep, I'm going to keep going forward, and I can't wait to release it.
That's really great. With listening to the way you've talked about your first 2010 release and kind of middle ground, and then what do you have a vision for this record, like what you're trying to say with it? I mean, I know I read your LGBTQ advocate, women's rights advocate. Is that an element on this record?
So it's a self-titled album because, I collected this batch of 10 songs because I was, I had like a bunch of index cards out of everything that I'd written that hadn't been released when I was saying, oh, you know what? I think I want to do a whole other full-length record. And the first one, which is out everywhere, it's called Comfortable Lie, the first song. It wasn't really top of my list because it's another one of those songs that I wrote when I was maybe 18. But what I kept finding in the process of recording the songs, because I started recording them without a name for the record. It was like, we're going to get together, we're going to do this. And, I, got all my artist friends and, heroes, and they were so gracious with their time. And I just kept going forward. And I think what kept becoming more obvious to me during the process was that I just kept finding myself. And so it was just like, oh, let's just make it self-titled. This is just very representative of who I am and where I am in my life. And, Comfortable Lie was about that, growing up queer in the church, splitting of selves. And, I read the lyrics to it as a grown-up and went, oh, that's what that's about. I was talking about my two selves, and I didn't even realize it. It's like, I was my own prophet. And so I take this job so seriously and so sacredly, and, I treat it with care, and I really am so thrilled every time anybody pays any attention and listens, because it's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, we are at the very end of our time here tonight, but we do have time for a song. If you would play one more song for us.
Sure.
Maybe something off your Howlin Dog project would be awesome. And I'm going to say, will you back up from your microphone, maybe just a skosh?
Okay, is my mic too hot?
Well, when you really bore down on it on the last song, I saw my hair go.
It's so funny. You sound check it all day long, and then
to
the show, and everything is.
You got a voice. You got a voice, Sara. And so I want to hear every word. So thank you. Teri and I are going to go away, and then we'll be back to say goodbye.
All right. This is the self-titled album. It's Comfortable Lie, and you can stream it everywhere. There's also.
Oh no! Now we can't hear you when you're talking. We're gonna have to find a middle ground. Sorry about that, Sara. I think I sabotaged you there. Sorry about that.
Called Comfortable Lie. It's off the self-titled album that Howlin Dog so graciously awarded me a grant for, and you can stream it everywhere you listen to music. It's also its own full-length music video on YouTube. So please check it out, add it to a playlist, request it at your favorite radio station, and let's get it everywhere. All right.
You don't know what's bothering me. I see you, but can't see me. I'm fooling. Pick up the pieces, remember where they fell. I can't tell the heaven from the hell you're giving me. Guess I thought I was smart. I guess I thought I had mastered the art of putting truth in a comfortable lie. 'Cause I keep lying and you aren't free. I try. How much would it cost to get you back? All we are missing right through the cracks, we're slipping. Wipe those long years off the brow. We're here together, all over now. We're going through. I guess we thought we were smart. Guess we thought we had mastered the art. Putting truth in a lie. Well, I keep lying and you aren't free by my side. How did we get here and why are we scared? There's no way to know. Be prepared for love that's true. Well, I could go far until I was burned. I'm older now. How often I've learned I'm growing. Maybe I always was smart. Maybe I finally giving up on I'm lying and you are breathing by my side.
Well, you got perfect timing there, Sara. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. And
so much for having me. I really appreciate being here. I also wanted to mention that if any of the viewers do want to see me and they don't live in Houston, I'm playing the Mucky Duck on September 4th and they live stream. So make sure you still check out my shows because I often play these live streaming events. So
there you go. The internet is a wonderful thing. Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We're going to let you go, Sara, and then Teri and I can wrap it up. You have a great rest of your evening and keep those candles burning.
I will.
I like.
Thanks, Sara.
Oh, Teri, it's the end of another night.
It is, and just one more night to go.
That's right. Tomorrow night, Sandy Mueller, who we missed her on Wednesday, she had a flat tire or car trouble or something, which that's my love language right there is car trouble. It's always an
in Houston. No less.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she and I are going to get together for the last night of the fundraiser. I'm not sure where we are. We'll know what we're trying to raise by tomorrow night when we when we, get going. So we'll let Teri do the math overnight and start out with what we're shooting for tomorrow night for our last night. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and hanging with us, and all your comments and your internet applause with your clapping hands. Thank you so much for that. Teri, what you got to say to take us out of here?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has been an incredible week. Yeah. Just so much great stuff happening.
Yeah, it is great. You're great. Dawn, you're great. Pam, you guys backstage, you're great. Thank you so much for being with us tonight and all you do for Howlin' Dog Music, and to you Facebook and YouTubers out there. Thank you so much for sticking with us. If you want to do something to make you sleep like a baby tonight, scan that QR code and donate some money so that Teri has math to do all night long.
All night long. Good idea. Good idea.
All right.
All right.
Love
See y'all
you.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.